And to that point, undecideds are winning this poll by a landslide right now. Who does that help more? Someone who's in the race or potentially someone who is not in the race?
I think it certainly helps someone not in the race currently. We've discussed Harris previously. She said that she's not going to enter, but we saw that once we add her to the ballot, she really starts to run away with it. We don't necessarily see that with Padilla just yet. I think that there is certainly a difference between the former vice president and the current US Senator. But I do think that it would help someone who does have some real momentum, uh, potentially a new face or potentially an old face that Californians really like. But at the same time, I think some of these lesser known Democrats, at least in this poll, who are further down in the horse race, I think that they have an opportunity to potentially break out, especially given the news with Porter and her favorability. Once those campaigns really start in earnest, that could change things. It depends on their funding, it depends on how they run their campaign. But I think boosting their name ID, that could be a huge game changer here depending on how the rest of the race unfolds.
How competitive is this race shaping up to be, or does that really remain to be seen because of these large question marks that are still looming?
I think it will be very competitive. Right now, as we see a plurality or undecided here, these voters could go either way. They certainly lean Democratic, but any one candidate could break out. I think that Democratic side, especially, is really, really competitive. As far as the general election, I don't see that as quite as competitive. Now, it does depend on who ends up in the final general election in November, dependent on party. So there's a lot of different aspects to this. It could go a lot of different ways, but it's going to be very interesting. We don't necessarily get a lot of races in California that are this interesting, and I think this is definitely one of them. It's highly, highly competitive, and anything could happen.